Shout out to everybody here. So sorry. I thought I was streaming for a while now, and I was not. I had copy-pasted a Discord link instead of the link to Bookmap. Apologize for my lateness. I didn't think I was late. I was talking for the last 5 minutes straight. It's okay. I'm going to share the screen. We're going to break it down, and I have so much to talk about. We got Bookmap right off the bat. Let's talk about the day. The day started just like this. We'll go back in time, and I opened up the trading group like so. Kind of an Adam and Eve double top the other way, right? But I saw it kind of as a shoulder ahead, and I said, if this 15 minutes low, I don't want to end up a short. I said, if this comes up and makes a right shoulder, I'm going to look to short it just through this little gap here, back down to probably 26,127. I just want to take literally the breakdown from here back to there. I just want to take that little section out. And I knew at 20x leverage, I could make about 20% gains, right? Right there, yeah, it's a 0.4. At 10x leverage, that would be 40%. At 10x, at 20x leverage, it might even be a little more. But I just knew I only needed about, 0.2, 0.3% to make a little bit of a gain today. So that's all I was looking for, okay? And that's another thing I want to tell you. You trade spot for years. I traded spot for a long time, 10 years before I even opened up a leverage trade, all right? And then what you can do is once you understand spot and you feel better about spot, you can use a little bit of leverage to accentuate a move. If you can say, oh, there's a move coming this way, I can take a 1% gain and turn it a little bit, So shoulder, head, and right shoulder right there. So let's play that and see what happens. And we made that little right shoulder, came up again. I entered the short at that little dippage and just kept the short open. And the short would play out, and I would end up getting my money. It also had a descending triangle, right? And these descending triangles love to break down the base of the triangle. Like, they're like the most notorious pattern. Right now, there's a short. Where is there? I'll give you a trade that I'm looking at. I'm nice enough to give you. Where was it? Optimism is in one of these right now, looking like it may enter a short to the downside. I'll take a look at it for you here. If you just go to Op, USDT, or there it is right there, or Quant actually. Quant and Op actually, both in descending triangles. But you look at Optimism and... yeah, I'm looking at this as a likely short to the downside. That's a descending triangle. They love to break down. You're riding the top of this channel. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Some say falling wedge could break on out. I get it, but you're overbought in the Stokes and you can't make a previous high. So if this level loses, it's just very likely going to drop to the bottom of the channel. That's just something I'm looking at. Nice enough to show you there. Anyway, and I just wanted to show you because this descending triangle reminded me of that, and I figured why not be nice enough to tell you guys, right? So you got a little bit of a gem. I want to let you know if you come to this live stream, there'll be a little bit of a gem. Obviously not as big as my live stream, right? But we want to. There's going to be extra sauce in here that you don't get everywhere else, and that's the key. All right. So stream's looking good. Let me see who's here in the chat. Shout out to Lifer Adam, Hassan Kamal, John Connor, Joshua Jelowick, and Lotmo Crypto. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Thank you for the likes, and thank you for watching the channel. I really appreciate it. Okay, moving forward, let me just bust out the chat here so I have it. Trapper in the house. Shout out to Crypto Trapper. Sam, number one. Shout out to Rockton Road. Shout out to Intrinsic. Shout out to everyone. Lifer for life. Thank you. I appreciate that. Shout out to everyone that has learned from me and decided that they will be loyal to the end of time. I appreciate that. All right. So we're going to attempt to find another trade live together, just like this one on the live stream. So I'm excited. We're going to be patient. We're going to go through the motions. So here, this happened. Let's take this away. So we hit the short. I took profits, and I put profits on the live. I said, I'm going to take profits here. We nailed it. We pulled the Fibonacci. We came to a 786 retracement. I pulled a falling wedge. Then I pulled this trend line. And then I saw that we were making a bit of a, basically, let's pull the fib away. I got double fib action here. I don't need two fibs. Delete. So we showed up to the 718. That's a very likely reversal. Like, even if it's a small move, it tells you you're likely going to get a push to the upside. So I looked at this, interestingly enough, as kind of like a symmetrical triangle, or an ascending triangle, really. And break this up a little bit. Babe, that's like a lot. So this falling wedge could break to the upside. You have a low, you have a high, you have a higher low, all right? This suggests that the falling wedge could break further to the upside. I would look for this to get to this resistance. If you flip that, you're getting to the top of the channel, right? I wouldn't look for any more than that until we got above, did a retest, right? And then the key level of 26,300. We hit 26.3 like numerous times. Then we hit 26.6, right? And okay, go to events here and start. I'm just not that tech savvy, honestly. When it comes to like programs that I don't use, like I use programs that I do use, and then that's it. It's weird. Did I get? I need the link to the Discord. I need to be back. I need to be invited to the. Somehow I don't have the Bookmap, sir. I don't know why. My daughter touches my phone. She could have kicked. I have no idea why I'm not in the Bookmap server. Yeah, I need to invite into the server again. I don't know. I can't. Anyway, all right. Anyway, so then we expected a bounce for Bitcoin here. We got it. All right. So all things have kind of gone to plan today. The head and shoulder broke down. The 786 bounced up. Now what? Where do we go from here? Right. Well, to me, it's all about moving averages, and it's about liquidity. Right. Yeah, I don't know how I got kicked out. Man, I got booted out of the server somehow. Like, see? It says invalid invite. Yeah, somehow I think I was kicked. Honestly, I don't know what happened, but like I never left the server. I never left the Bookmap server. Anyway, so we got a pump to the upside, but where do we go? My 200 SMA. If you trade with me, we always talk about the 200. And look at that, resistance. The 200 is riding resistance, not letting price action go. And if you look really closely, it's interesting. I'll show you so much. But this is a rounded top, right? And that's a backwards cup and handle, you see? It comes from the inside. It's just so crazy how that works. But so this is a rounded top. Rounded tops are bearish when the tops start to round on out. Now, the 7-minute to me is accumulating. Now, one thing I like to do, and I've been doing this a lot lately, is when I notice that the 21 and the 200 get tight, there's usually a pump. So see how we're between the 21 and the 200? Backtest that theory, and I'll show you, it's pretty interesting. Let me see if I can find a place where the 7 and the... right there, price was squeezed in between the 21 and the 200, It did a little bit of a dip, but we did, a big pump came. Right there, we were squeezed between the 21 and the 200, and we pumped. All right? It doesn't happen a lot, too. Right there, we were squeezed. We pumped. Right there, we were squeezed. We pumped. Right there, we were squeezed. We pumped. Right there, we were squeezed. A little pump. Right there, we were squeezed. The 21 and the 200 were squeezed. Now, it was the other way around, right? It's better when the 200 is on the bottom. But there again, you see the squeeze. We pumped. Very interesting when you see the 21 right here and the 200 tight. All right, and that's what we're getting right now. I just wanted to reiterate that. I've been seeing it a lot lately. I didn't notice it even 2-3 years ago. And now lately I'm like, so that gives me some hope that this could pump when the 21 and the 200 get tight. So what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for the 15-minute to reset here and not go, basically make a higher low. Stay inside the flag, and it looks like we'll be able to get a trade, possibly a scalp later on today, up to 26,374. So that's like, this is my next trade that I look. So like just like earlier today, I projected the right shoulder before it happened. Look, then we made an M. Trade the M, bearish retest. So what I do is I project before it happens, and I say, okay, I could do this. Yeah. So weird. Huh. I just wanted to get the Bookmap server. I'm supposed to be doing this in the Bookmap server as well as here on YouTube. But the link I keep getting from my Bookmap team is, for some reason, not letting me in. Unable to accept invite. Like, I have no idea what's going on. Never happened to me before. All right, I'm going to have to get the tech team on that, and we'll figure it out next week. So, but next week I will be in the Bookmap room. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. So we're watching this to make a flag. Price action is pretty flat for a Tuesday. I'll be honest. It's almost like you can feel it, like the stagnation, right? Look, just the flatness of price action. Not a lot of movement today. Just kind of still. 26.2. 26.2 has been an area that we've bounced off of and had resistance a lot. Like resistance, bounce, came close, bounce, fell through, bounce. And now we're kind of like right on that area, 26,200. So it has been a known area of support. Could it complete the support? That's what we're looking for. And the idea behind this is you got a low, you have a higher low, right? Which is, somewhat of that's a decent sign. So I'm more, a little more bullish. The 1 hour also this morning always looked good, like it wanted to pump, and it still looks nice. See the 1 hour? So, and honestly, that's kind of like a cup and a handle. That's a cup and handle. I didn't even look at it like that beforehand. But that's a cup and handle. There's your cup. There's your handle. That measured move should take you to 26.5. And even really right up to this high volume node, 26.570. You got a gap up here. If you get above this high volume node at 26.3 and that resistance at 26.300, you can get a move. Yeah. Okay. Nice to see you live 2 times today. Thank you, GGSO. Thanks a lot. Came here a loot for you. Thank you for the loot. All right. This is Bookmap right here. This, we've showed Bookmap already a bunch of times. It suggests that we might get this top out right here. See, there is enough liquidity to suggest we get to 26.6, just like I'm suggesting. So pop out and then maybe a nasty rejection right back down. That's what Bookmap's telling us. It's like a pop out and a nasty rejection back down. It wants to go lower. It has the biggest amount of liquidity to the downside. It doesn't always mean 100%. I could listen to Sam all day long. Barbara, Trader Joe, God bless you. Thank you for being here. God bless you for jumping on in, and thank you for sharing your time. One of the hardest working people here. I'm telling you, man, some days I work so hard, my abdominal muscles hurt from talking all day. Or when the day ends, I will be so exhausted from running my mouth. It would be insane. Just between updates and the live stream, I've probably already put in about 3 hours straight. And I also had a meeting before this for an hour, which was it was a great meeting, by the way. What a great meeting. So this is a flag. Moving averages are getting priced tight. Whenever I see the 21 in between the 200, I just kind of back tested that for you. Some magic can happen. We want to just see price action stay above this 21, stay inside of a flag, have this curl up, and it's likely that we're going, and this I wait for the stochastics to reset. So that's a trade I'm looking for right now, And let's dive in. We'll go to a smaller time frame idea. This pumped nicely out of a falling wedge. Same idea. See cup and handle, 8% gain, see 98. This is the type of stuff you'll see in my trading group. I'll put out a stop loss, take profit and entry, and I'll draw the reasons why. And I'll even give you, I said we're right below a POC. Once we get above it, I expect to move. I said the RSI is low, about to reverse. Stochastics look good. And MACD is at lack of bearish momentum. So, and there's a few other things too, but it's basically VRVP, support or resistance, and then look, falling wedges break out. So I just combine multiple bullish influences in one, right? Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. That worked. They might have had a bot too. You never know. There's always someone. Thank you, Bruce. We're all set. I'm back in the server, baby. Appreciate that. I really appreciate it. And then I'm just going to go over here. Everyone, I'm just entering the server. Give me 1 second. I apologize for the technical difficulty. We usually don't do any of this, so I'm sorry. Go to events here, then start the event, and share your screen. Excellent. So I see the events. I see share. Okay. I started Discord and someone set it up for me and I just post to it. So I've never used Discord like everyone else really, which is, so I'm not good at this. I'm not as advanced when it comes to Discord because I'm not exactly, he says, go to events here, then start the event and share your screen. All right. When I go to events, it just brings up a bunch of other events. I think I have to find my channel, right? You got Italiano, Portuguese. Whoa. Yeah, I still don't see where, I see the event, but it comes up like this, right? So my directions are go to the event page, right? I just want to go to events here, then start the event and share your screen. And it points to events, okay? So I go to the server, I go to events, right? And then I see my event right there. More, copy event link, click on it. And then when I hit share, it just allows me to share it. I don't Start. Ah, that just appeared. I think that wasn't there because that just appeared. I think you guys just hooked me up. Yeah, that wasn't there before, guys. So I don't think I'm that untech savvy. I just don't think you do not have permission to speak in the channel now. Yeah, I think somehow my channel got, I think because last week when I stopped, maybe, I don't know what happened. Anyway, okay. So I just think things weren't set up correctly. I could be wrong, but I don't want to. Excellent. Now I can share my screen. Okay. Excellent. Now we're ready to rock. I got you now. Screen 3. Go live. Boom. 1440 even too. Okay, cool. Thank you, Bruce. You're the best, man. God bless you. Appreciate your time, man. And I got the mic on, but it's not allowing me to speak in the channel for whatever reason. All right. I'm just going to keep doing my thing on YouTube here so I don't, and we'll figure this out, I guess, next week. A year will go by and we won't remember these days. So we're going to watch this flag, waiting for the 15 to come down. That's my next trade, period. All right, everyone. And it's kind of got an idea of a shoulder, a head, and a bit of a right shoulder here too. So it's kind of like earlier today while I waited on the right shoulder, I'm waiting on this left shoulder idea here too. It may flatten out a little bit. And now if this just comes on back down, I'll possibly trade the double bottom. And that's what the beauty of my strategy is. I don't have to trade it right now if I have to wait for my setup to occur. My setup is a nice flag on the 15 with low Stokes. If I get that, I'll take the trade. If I don't get it, there's just no reason to take the trade. That's the beauty of having a system, but you don't have a system till you bang around for years and figure it out, right? It takes some time. So, yeah. Yeah, just so you guys know on your bend. So now I have suppressed. You don't have permission to speak in the channel. But I'm pretty sure I was, it could be me. Maybe it's me. Voice connected. Cryptolifer market analysis. Live. Yep. I just think there's something going on. Anyway. So this is like kind of, and on funny, of all the days I did Bookmap recently, Tuesday's usually pretty awesome, right? We did 3 live trades actually up until the week I couldn't. And sorry about last week, everyone. I like hitting my Bookmap session. It really is. I like it. It does a lot for me. I get an extra hour in the market, but I had a closing on Friday, the time before, for a piece of real estate, and they didn't give us the insurance documents in time or something. And I really wasn't in charge of the closing. Like my buddy, real estate developer put together, and he was like, "You got to be here Tuesday, 1:00 for the closing now." And I really didn't have a choice. And we had been working on that closing for months. So, of course, it was at the exact same time. And we had the competition last week, which I really wanted to be involved in. Like, it kind of got me, but, you can't be everywhere all the time. It is what it is. So, Bookmap, it says we get my pump up, and then we'll see from there. We could go lower. They do have more liquidity to the downside, and that's how I use Bookmap. I'll tell you, I open up Bookmap, and if I see more liquidity down here, I'm more apt not to take, like, a bigger long. I might scalp here and there, but even on the 7-minute, I've seen it play out, right? So it's interesting. Yeah. Maybe I leave and come back in, and then, but somehow, yeah, I got the right input device too. So let me bring the music down. I apologize there too. Actually, you shouldn't have been able to hear the music anyway. Let me bring the music down. I apologize there too. Let me see. When it comes to like programs that I don't use, I had music playing, but thank God I didn't have it up. So I look for liquidity, and where liquidity is, you want to ride with it. So like this says we go lower.
Yeah, hold on.
This says we go lower down to $25,000.
I don't see him here.
I'm in there.
Yeah, I know that, but yeah. Let me try it here as well.
I'll just bring down the volume so we don't hear him. No worries, guys. And I love you guys. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. And then So that's why like there's a chance we get my little push up, because there's that volume up there at 26.8, 26.4. There's a little bit of volume up in here, just enough to tell me that we could, see that yellow bar. Now, it's not as strong as the lower volume, all right? But it does tell me that we can get that. And it's close enough that we can get a streak. And there's enough of a gap in there. So it tells me, hey, there's a fighting chance I could get that move up. But look, resistance. You're going to I'm so stuck on my support of resistance. I'll tell you why. I've looked at Bookmap before. I looked at so many different things. I said, this is going to happen. My oscillators looked good. And then we couldn't get above a resistance. And I've missed easy shorts that all you had to do was short the resistance. And it happened to me. I'm looking at 1,000 indicators. I'm doing this and that. And I'll tell you what, and I think this happens to every veteran trader. Once you hit year 10 of trading and you've used a bunch of indicators, you're going to eventually dial out. And instead of dialing in, you're going to start to be able to zoom out. Somehow, through years of watching indicators, you're able to, what will happen is you'll put more basis on simpler things. You'll be able to put a stronger confirmation on things that are just far more easy to see, but you couldn't have seen them your first year of trading. Like, they were difficult to see, and so these gems come with time, okay? These gems just come with time. Like, there's no really other way to explain it. These gems come with time. Over time, you develop a sense, and trading should get simpler for you. Like, as you get older, it shouldn't get harder and more complex. It should get simpler for you. And at one point, you should find something that you like. Now, every once in a while, you'll tweak that. Like, for instance, I love support and resistance, but if my Stokes are super high, it's going to warn me, But there are times when I see an inverted head and shoulder, and I see my oscillators a little high, and I just play the pattern. It all depends on kind of what you're going for, right? So,
a microphone, make sure that is unmuted. Okay, and then also click on the user settings, Sam.
Okay, I have the mic on. Every time I hit mic, it says suppress. You have not permission to speak. It keeps telling I don't have permission to speak. I have the right mic and everything. I'm in user settings now.
Yeah, so then scroll down. You'll see it if you like voice and video is what you click on there, and then check your input and output.
Yeah, when I go here,
make sure it's correct, and you can even test it there.
Yeah, because here I go to this button, and I'm at the speaker Cast Pro, and my mic is the Caster Pro. I got the right mic and the right speaker. I'm hearing you. So look, it just the program itself says you do not have permission to speak in the channel.
Yeah. So try that, Sam. And if you tried your voice input or your device input and output settings and it doesn't work, scroll all the way down to the bottom within voice and video, all the way to the bottom, and hit reset voice settings.
Where is that?
And then
scroll. See, I feel like I'm already at the bottom, but I'm all the way at the bottom. Reset. Yeah. I don't see that ability. Turn on camera, share your screen. It just says suppressed right there. And these are my settings, but I don't see voice. Oh, voice and video. Yep. Check. Yep. So you see how that's saying input? No. Yeah. Check. Let's check. Oh. So the mic's working. It's something to do with the actual server just not letting me speak. Yeah. I don't think there's anything I can do. Yeah. All right, so there's a flag there on the 15. This is what I'm waiting on. Pretty boring price action today. I have to give it to you guys. I'm not trying to cookie code it here. Now, when the Stokes get high, do look like it does tell me that there could be a nice short to the downside. So what I do is I'm just saying, well, and again, see how this projection is sideways? I never know whether the projection is exactly sideways or I don't know whether it's a falling wedge. A lot of times, if you're watching my live, you'll see me do stuff like this. I literally named this the Twisted Sister. I gave it these two movements, and what will happen is it's kind of cool to do this. This is You could pick this up for me if you want or not, if it makes sense to you. But so like beforehand, so price action will get up. And this works so price action will get to a high and it'll hit a resistance, just like it's at here, right? Resistance, resistance, resistance. The second that happens and my Stokes are high, I'm 90, and I go over the ideas. Price action can either go up, come right back down, or consolidate, somewhat sideways or in a wedge. Those are the three main things that price action will do, okay? So if that's the case, right, if that's the case, once my Stokes are high and I'm touching a 200 SMA at a high volume node at resistance, it's very likely price isn't going to continue on that time frame. And you can backtest it. When the Stokes got high here, what happened? We went down. When the Stokes got high here, we went down. We went down. And bear with me because there's a reason I'm saying this to you. We went down. We went down. So I'm in a swing trade. I'm up. I know exactly when to sell. Pretty much. Like I'm like, all right, the Stokes are high, MACD's high, RSI's high, and we're at the 200 SMA at resistance. If I backtest this theory, 90% of the time, you're going to start to pull back or consolidate. It doesn't mean that this can't just pump out of nowhere. It's happened to me, but it's rare. So the second I see these, I take profits and that's why I'm confident in taking profit. See, most people don't take profits because in the back of their mind, it's going to keep going up. See, I've solidified the fact that the probability is obviously not going to keep going up. So I trade the probability. You get it? And see, I don't know if I can jump in on a Google call because I've already given OBS all my stuff, So let's see. I can hear you now. Can you hear me now? And it's also going to press the computer a lot. I got Bookmap running. I'm streaming to two places at once. What's up? What's up, Bruce? The people at Bookmap are so nice. They're the greatest, one of the best companies you'll ever work with, everybody. Yeah, I now can't hear you. Oh, hello? Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you guys now. Yep.
Okay, great. So what happened? Somehow it looks like you got banned or something from the website or from the Discord server.
Yeah, it's so weird, right? Like, why?
Yeah. So we reinstated you, but now you should have all the access. Let me share my screen and show you what we're trying to get you to do here. So hold on, and I'll turn off my camera, but start presenting. Oh, you can see it, right?
Yep. I got you on the monitor.
Okay, got you. Okay. So anyway, down here, this is where you need to go and click on user settings here, right?
Yeah.
Now these are your personal user settings.
Yeah, no, I went in there in front of you and I tested the mic in front of you guys.
And was it working?
Yep. I said, let me check. Look, it's doing it.
We didn't hear it.
Yeah. A bit. So that everything on my end is working. My only thing is because I had no permissions, then I got in. Maybe I should come in and come back out again.
Yeah.
That's my only thought. And then once I do that, I think I'll be good. But I just didn't want to. All right. So I'm going to disconnect the voice channel. I'm out now, right?
So yeah, all you have to do really is press Control R to refresh.
Ah, okay. Thank you for saying that. All right. So let me join. I'm good to go now, baby. Yep. That was it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
just an in and out. Usually that's what.
I hold on. Let's mute ourselves here in Google Meeting in the lower center, lower left, and then I'm going to try you over there.
All right. I'm just going to leave the Google Meet. Is that cool? I think I don't need to be in there anymore.
Just get an echo. That's all.
Yeah. We're good to go.
All right, Sam. Can you?
Yep. I hear you. Nice. I hear you. Great. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you're going as well. You're all good to go. So now,
excellent.
In your share your screen, and pop it out as well, like this. share your screen like this, then do the entire screen, because then you'll get
100%. Yeah.
everything.
I always scroll down and do
Um,
the screen. I messed up one
and
time
then
and I
and
realized
then
that.
it'll be under screen one, your Cryptolifer custom 1440 and then 1500, and click go live.
Bang.
Okay. Now you got to click back here,
Yep.
right? Okay, and then here's my stream, and then basically what you'll do is you'll pop this out. We'll click on it, and then you pop it out down here.
Yep.
Okay, and then you can put this on a different monitor somewhere. Hold on, there we go. You can put this on a different monitor somewhere.
Yep.
That frees you up to come back in here and then go to your live chat room at the same time. So then you'll just you'll scroll down again, and then here is where your chat room is. Where is it? Cryptolifer. There's Crypto with John.
I got it. Yep.
You see it?
And I click the open chat button, right?
Yeah, here, just click on this, and then you're in there. And then this is where you can put in like links to things, or like, if you even take a screenshot of something,
Excellent.
and then you can paste it in here.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's that.
Cool. So,
So you're all set.
So sorry. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Love you, Sam.
You know what it is? I think because there's so many people that try to look like me. Maybe they just botched a fake scammer, and then I end up getting caught in the mix. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, probably something like that. And then make sure you start your YouTube as well.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube for sure. Yeah, we've been live.
Okay.
We've been live the whole time. I've been live the whole time. We're actually live right now, just so you know. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
But what it does, it shows how great you guys are. So that's what I should have said so. But I was like, guys, this is how great the team is over here. Like, I love Bruce. Like, since the day I met him, one of the best people I met in the industry. So I work with Bookmap because of the people. I love the actual tech, but I'm a real people guy, everyone, and I like companies that treat me properly. So I just got to put you guys out in a great light. I love Bruce and the whole team. Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks, Sam. Sam. All right. Good luck with everything.
You too. Thank you for everything, Bruce.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Bye.
All right, everybody. That was Bruce, man. He's the man. Bruce Pringle. So 200 SMA right there. He's also a good trader. He knows his stuff, man. Teach you a thing. He probably teach me a thing or two, man. So look at this. You play here. This falls through. Now, I knew that we were going to either make a flag to the sideways or a flag to the down. I knew that, right? Now, number one, it's because I play how far away the 21 gets from the 200 SMA, right? And again, remember, I'm not 100% right. I want to make that clear. People think because I'm the lifer, I call great shots, and I have high probability that every time I say something, it's going to happen. Like, look, this is dumping now, right? There's no way I know. I don't know what price is going to go. I base everything I do on probabilities, all right? Like, yes, we were tight inside the 200. Could we get a pump? And at the same time, I don't do things until I get confirmation. The 15-minute was high. I am not opening up a long to that 15-minute resets. I would have liked the 15-minute to go sideways. That would have been far better for my long because it would have said, oh, we're consolidating. Now, look, it's giving back what it took. Now they're just really going after liquidity. You can see, like, they're just going to stop, the lows. Now, we do have ourselves a double top here, right? And see, that's another thing between a more pro trader and an amateur trader. I can change my theory instantly. See, a beginner trader is stuck on the long, and then they have to take it till they lose, and then the next day, and it's just this constant cycle. I'm never long or short. I'm whatever the market's going to give me. You get it? I'm never personally, it has to be. I'm like, well, I'm long until I'm not long. I'm short until I'm not short. You know what I mean? Like had this level stayed and this made a flag, oh my God, and then the Stokes reset, that's a setup that I go for all the time, and that would have been a beautiful move, and I would have been able to take it. That's why that's why I love teaching my students how to project the flag, because you project the flag. If you don't make the flag, you can't take the flag, right? If you don't make the flag, you can't take it. If you do make the flag, you can. So the flag really tells me whether I can take the trade or not. The flag is also a continuation pattern with a probability aligned. So it tells me, hey, this has a so-and-so probability of breaking to the upside. Now, you can always move down. Had I zoomed in, sad to say, I'll go the 1 minute, we could have traded this descending triangle to the downside. And look, funny, I just talked about two of them already. These are I find the most probable patterns in the world. The opposite ascending triangle, when it looks like this, can break up or down. Mainly it breaks up in an uptrend, but it's like, but the descending, they say it's a 50-50 pattern, but I only see it dump to the downside, you know? So I'd wish I had seen this in time. We were doing some technical technical stuff. But look, shoulder, head, and a shoulder. Even the top here had a shoulder, head, and a shoulder. It's just amazing how these patterns play out. And then your neckline to the, that may have been something we could have scalped, right? And so you had a head and shoulder and a descending triangle. You had two, and you lost resistance. You were supposed to get back above this point of control. You were supposed to get back above this resistance. You couldn't. You came back on the Stokes and made a lower low on a lower high. So there's just, and so I trade stochastics with the indications. And again, remember Bookmap. It does, at the end of the day, Bookmap says it wants to go lower. And like, look, Bookmap's speeding up now, more liquidity. But there's just, Bookmap says we're going down at 25.8. And I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be surprised if later on today we're at 25.8. Like, this is reading liquidity is very accurate. I got Bookmap, I think, a year and a half now. And I use it every day. I use it every day. It's one of the last things I look at before I go to bed. It's one of the first things. I look at the chart, then I look at Bookmap. Every single morning. If you're in my trading group, you get a Bookmap. I go over Bookmap every morning. What I do, so we are locked in, Now, there's people that use Bookmap for different reasons. Some people are really in on the pips, and they're looking at they have their settings way tighter than mine. They're looking at ways tighter forms of liquidity. And they're looking for the gaps up and down. For me, I kind of have that taken care of with my TA. I just need to see where the majority of the liquidity lies. Here, right here, 26,000, biggest red bar. That's very close. We're very likely to go to 26K now, right? And the thing is, too, is once I see like now my idea that I was planning on falls through, then I'm less likely to play along as well, all right? But just so you know, that you could make substantial money trading the 1 minute. It'll take you years. I think you should start trading the 4 hour, the 1 hour. You have to get accustomed to your emotions. It's not something you're going to be able to do overnight. It's not going to happen like this. It's something that you're going to have to acquire over time. Once you get I couldn't trade the 1 minute even when I've been trading for like 4 or 5 years. I was still, But I just want you to pay attention to the concepts in which I teach. One thing that I teach a lot is this structure here, all right? This is a really cool structure. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I want you to see this, and I'm going to give you gold right now. Sometimes I consider why I give these things away, but I'm going to show you something pretty cool. And I'm going to post it to the group here in the chat on Discord. So what goes on is this, all right? And I want you to, abort. I want to just take a small piece of this. So it's shift, not control, sorry. I want to just take a small piece of this. No, abort. Oh, yeah, it's control, print screen. Sorry. There we go. So I want you to look at this. I want you to really zoom in on, and I want you to hone in on this. All right? And I'm actually going to make my screen really big. This is something that I've been showing a lot in the last month, and it's just a beautiful revelation. I want you to understand, to do what I'm about to teach you, and I could take away even all the other stuff. This is a strictly moving average play that I learned. This is amazing. It happens multiple times a day, okay? Usually 5 to 6 times a day this will happen. All right, and I can show it to you. What you'll do is you'll wait for a liquidation on Bookmap. You have to see a liquidation. This is how Bookmap is part of my strategy. The Bitcoin will start to crash, all right? Once it dumps, you need to look for liquidations. Every time you see a divergence like this, that means there was a liquidation. That divergence means that people were liquidated. That divergence means, and how do I know it's a divergence? Because the RSI is now at a low point pointing back to the upside. So the RSI and price can tell you when you've liquidated most of the people. With Bookmap, you can visually see it, and then you're not really questioning it at all. Once I establish that, I wait for the first candle to close above these two candles. This candle closes, I enter the short, I enter the long. I trade the long only to the 200. At that point, I take 75% off of the trade, stop loss to break even, protective stop to break even. I like to use protective stop. What that does is I solidify my gains, because many times you do get rejected by the 200 and the trade may not play out. If you get above the 200, you usually get another juice. That's where my extra 25% makes a little more in the trade. All right. Here it is again. This one's a bigger one, but you have a divergence here. You're swinging up. You get the divergence. You'll see it on Bookmap. It'll be liquidations. You'll actually see accounts getting liquidated, and price action will bounce. Once it gets above the 21, and I get the first candle to close above this resistance, I get into the trade. And I trade the trade all the way back up to the 200. I get out and leave a runner. If it runs, I get that extra movement. I call it a day. Here it is again. We get the divergence on the 1 minute time frame. I wait for one candle to close, preferably above the 200, above like one of these levels. Entry there. Now look, this one would have went up, then you would have come down. It was a roller coaster ride. You have to hold your emotions. If this does lose the 21 and start to fall, fine. It's not, nothing is 100%. And look, this one got very close to the 200, but it never touched it. That's why you need to be a little mindful of support or resistance, but 90% of the time, you're going to touch the yellow line. Usually that's going to become rejection. But sometimes you get real close and you don't touch it. Here, look, we just couldn't get above this resistance, see? If I saw that a few times, it may have told me to, every time, once you're above the 50, the stop loss should go to break even. Once you're above the 50-day moving, the 50 simple, which is the red stop loss to break even, boom, that's it again. Here it is again. You get the divergence, you enter after one of these candles closes above this line, boom, it'll come down, make a higher low. That's a shoulder head and a right shoulder. If you saw that, maybe you bring in the right shoulder idea if you have that in your bag, right? It gets above the 21. Once it gets above the red line right there, stop loss to break even, right? And then this thing goes up to the 200 SMA. You take out 75%, you leave the runner. Look at that runner. That runner, that 25% might have made you almost as much as, or a little, probably almost half of what you would have had there, right? So So this is just an amazing strategy that I've found works pretty well if you stick with it. And I can identify one there, one there, one there, one there. It actually happens even more, Main bigger ones. I'm looking for the bigger liquidations, like when New York opens and stuff like that. But you will see this. You will see this happen every single day, multiple times a day. There it is again, to the 200 SMA. I'm telling you, if you attack this pattern over and over again with the moving averages, and no one told me this, I figured this out on my own, yeah, this is unbelievable, like unbelievable. I get goosebumps when I see this stuff, and it took me a long time for my brain to pick this out and realize that it can be a workable strategy over and over again. It's this, I'm going to blow your mind now. Once you learn the strategy and you play it out a bunch of times, after 100 times of playing this out, you should have like a bit of a statistical analysis on it. It's another thing. Too many people are losing money. Take out a demo account. MEXC gives you a 50 grand demo. Try this strategy out for a month. Everyone wants to make money immediately. No one wants to put in the work. I'm going to say that again. Everyone wants to make money immediately, but people don't want to put in the work. If you want to put in the work, you're going to make more money. If you think about money, you're probably likely not going to put in the work. I don't see, and people that don't put in the work usually don't make the money. Right? I have one thing down that I can honestly tell you to your face is I have work ethic, and I have discipline, and I have that locked in, and I know how to keep myself away from things that are going to take me away from what's helping my business and my life, right? And it's also simple. The simpler you keep things, the better, right? So now, once you solidify this works with a demo account, Do it 100 times with a demo account. I highly suggest no one touches leverage until they've used a demo account. And you would say, oh, but I don't get the stress from the money. You should get an adrenaline rush thinking if you can figure out a plan or not. Like if you have trouble trying to figure out a plan, right? Like with fake money, then how are you going to do it with real money? You got to teach yourself to grow, because wake up every day, watch the market, look for the entry, analyze the entry, tap in, hit the entry. Wouldn't it be cool to do that 100 times first? And that you don't need money to feel the rush of that. You're looking, it's like a video game. Like you're looking for the entry. That will pay off even if you're not using money. Okay? What's great about the demo account is it tracks it all mathematically, exactly like it was real. I mean, they do a good job creating those demo accounts. They work in real time. Pretty awesome. So you can get the feeling of the win or the loss. A lot of times during these, you'll have a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. Shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. Now I'm going to do something to really mess your mind up. Hit Alt-I. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Price is away from the 21. Price dumps back to what? The 200. Okay? So what I want to show you is this right here is the same exact structure as this. It's just upside down. Let's flip it upside down. You play the bullish divergence away from the 21. You pump, and you pump up to the 200 SMA. Who here just had their whole mind blown? Your whole mind should be blown right now, right? What do you mean when it resets? When the stochastics head back to the oversold region, that's what I mean when it resets, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Blown, right? I never made a crypto trade, so that demo account is where I want to be at. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Genius TA, Rockton Road. So once you learn how to long this and you do it 100 times, you already know how to short the market because you know how to look for the exact, and then you're going to short down to the 200 SMA. This goes hand in hand with what I teach every, I have the last Saturday of every month. I teach a trading class, and I teach it this Saturday coming up, or the 30th. I believe this is the Saturday, the 30th. And what I do during that class is I go over how I was able to accumulate Bitcoin long term. How I did that was I used stochastics, RSI, and I used basically the moving averages. By using the moving averages, I'm able to figure out where price action is at a premium or at a discount. All right? How am I doing that? Well, moving averages get tight when you get brought back down to them. In bull runs, prices get extended and go to really high places, and they get really far away from the 200-day moving average. The 200-day is similar to where you're born. You start off on the 200-day moving average. You're a year old. Your mother takes care of you, right? I know you're laughing right now, but look, little stock family, right? Little stock is born, little stocky, little mini stock baby. Let's just talk like the stock is a family, right? Parents are nurturing it. It's doing so well. But it's time. It's time to go off to college and then get a job, and then eventually it leaves home, right? Eventually, though, over time, it has to come back home, Now, sometimes people go on a massive adventure and they come back with their tail between their legs, right? Oh, Mom, it was bad. That's what the real world does to you, Making jokes. But the idea is this. You will leave the nest, but you always come back to it. So the daily is a great example. Price action will leave the nest. It will leave its 200, but it will come back to revisit it. It'll leave the nest. It'll come back to revisit it. When Bitcoin made this bullish divergence and it pumped up to the 200, that was the exact same thing that I'm showing you on the small time frames. It's amazing. When Bitcoin made a bearish div here and it came back down to the 200, that's the exact same thing I'm showing you flipped upside down on this chart here. That's this right here is the same thing Bitcoin did on the weekly, on the daily. I started taking small time frames and big time frames and realizing that they were all the same. That there was no difference. My mind was the one that was making the difference. Price action didn't care. Price action was a selective group of data that recreated itself in the macro and the micro over time. And no matter how I looked at it, that parameter would never change. It was my perception of it that would change. So I hope I can, give you some insight you may never have kind of seen before, which is the kind of more unique look at the market, right? Bookmap says we go lower. I'll tell you what, I'd like to do a Bookmap challenge one day and literally, and I kind of do it sometimes, I feel like, but literally like right now, I just opened a blind short with the amount I'm willing to lose. Like a $50 with a liquidation level of a certain area. But it depends though, because like Bookmap could be right and you can still get liquidated. That's the thing. Like that's why entry is so important. You could know all the parameters and still be a losing trader. You have to be able to enter it at the right times. All right. I've seen, we're going to go down, but you get in here and you get stopped out before we go down. And that can happen. I'm trying to teach you how to find key areas to get in and get out of trades. Long term for Bitcoin, am I long term bullish? Honestly, resistance, bounce, bounce. That's pretty solid support. As long as Bitcoin stays above 25,000, I really don't see how we're going to go lower. I'm accumulating. Anytime I see Bitcoin get into the 25s, I accumulate even more. I recently did accumulate about a whole Bitcoin in this area, in this chop. I bought an entire Bitcoin in this chop. It took me about, since August, I've been slowly, it took me about a month. Maybe I probably started, about there. I bought about a whole Bitcoin in this area in about a month. It was like $2,000 at a time, 500 here, $100 there. And then I even have limit orders set right now, just so everyone knows, I have a limit order at all these fib levels from the 786 up, really. I set limit orders yesterday on my live stream. I took $10,000 and set 5 limit orders, right, for Bitcoin, because if we do get a massive squeeze down, I believe it'll be quick like this. And, if you don't have the limit order in there, there's a chance you do not get those prices because the whole world was told we were going to 10K. Now, I'm a divergence trader, and I know when the moving averages get far apart that you don't go much lower. So this right here is the same thing I'm showing you on the 1 minute. And I've solidified this in my brain. My subconscious mind doesn't question this. So because my subconscious mind doesn't question this, I told the world that that was the bottom for Bitcoin by the time we were around here, and then I bought a whole Bitcoin at 19,000. Forget me and my ego. I don't want this to sound like, look at me and my Bitcoins, because I could die tomorrow, and who cares about my Bitcoins, right? I'm dead. So I just want to make that clear. My life is temporal. But the information is key, right? So I can capture information through my life that may seem like I'm kind of ego talking, but I'm not. I'm trying to capture points in the market for you. I just was the entity that happened to be around to show it to you, right? So the point of the story is I want you to extrapolate me from this situation and realize that, the next time you see, you're in an asset throughout the world and you see that the 2-week chart is extremely low on the stochastics RSI, you have a weekly bullish divergence, you're near the 200 SMA on a very large time frame like the weekly, the 2-week chart, it's a screaming bottom, okay? And what I did is I went and I said, well, let me look at some of the biggest assets in the world to solidify this so I don't feel like just someone saying whatever I want. And I looked at the 2-week and the weekly for bullish divergence. Look, I go to the weekly and I said, where is bullish divergence? And again, I called a bullish div here, and that was the similar bullish div for Bitcoin, right? But that was the S&P back in October of last year. I called the bottom of the S&P right here. It had a bullish divergence on the weekly. Weekly bullish divergence is substantial. All right, so there we saw it one time. When's the last time we saw it? Never here, never here, never here. Here was a dip and a wing back up. I'm sure on a smaller time frame there was some div, but no weekly div yet. Here we swung down, not like we're seeing. Here we swung down, kind of there. There's a little bit of it, but it's not that strong. And then like right here is the last time I see it. I have it circled. Swing down to swing down, swing up to swing up. And so the last time we had a weekly divergence, as strong as the one I'm seeing on Bitcoin, except for the one we just saw, was 2016. And so this happens once every 7 years. And when it does, that's your bottom. Look at that. Here it is again, but this is hidden bullish. And there's a little bit of bullish here. That's kind of flat, and that swings up. I have it circled there. That's 2010. Here's the hidden bullish. This swings up while this swings down. That tells you that's your bottom right there for hidden bullish. It is. So I am a stickler for weekly bullish and hidden bullish divergence. And here it is again right there. And we see it in 2009. We have a really strong weekly bullish div. Weekly divergence is like basically 100% accurate, I have to say. Like it calls bottoms. So when I saw Bitcoin do a weekly bullish div, it was pretty obvious to me that we had bottomed based off of like 30 years of information. And I thought that wasn't that hard to figure out. And I said, how come the whole world can't figure out where we've bottomed already? Like it's not that, I just took it only took me 5 hours. Again, maybe it's my years of looking at divergences, I believe in divergence. That's how I call the bottom. If you don't believe in divergence, then you can't. I know traders right now that are saying we're going to go lower and we're going to capitulate. And it's just, and again, in the NASDAQ, everyone's saying we're going into a recession. And maybe we can. I'm open-minded. Anything is possible. But it just, based on like 50 years of data, it's highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely. All right. So I started a little late, so I wanted to bump in and just add that 6 minutes. Do you have to go pick up her at school?
Yeah, are you coming?
Okay, I didn't realize. All right, everyone, I go to pick up my daughter at school. I'm a family man. I love my kids. Half the reason I work from home and I have my own business is so I can spend more time with my family and my kids, everyone. That is the key, right? Like, and if that drives you, if that becomes your driving force, like, I don't see how you're not going to become successful because it's a clean desire. I want to be there for my wife and kids. What else can I do, right? And so, yeah, I just kind of want to put that out there. And I know this is Bookmap, and I'm not trying to be a preacher and do whatever you want with your life. But trading does better when the environment is there for you, okay? Let's go back to Bitcoin before I jump on out of here and just look at any last things that I could talk about or bring up. Didn't really see a live trade. We could have gotten that swing low. That 1 minute that 1 minute breakdown there, but so here. And here's another dilemma I'm going to give you guys. You'll be scalping in the small time frames and you'll be working it. Remember, once I work a small time frame and it can get so in your head, you're like, that you miss like an easy 1 hour trade. Like this 1 hour is likely to pump where? To the 200 SMA. Why? It's the same system. We have the divergence here. We got pulled up. We just got to get back above this. So if we, again, if we don't, we're going to end up down here. And this is, but if we can get up here, boom, it's very likely we're going to get the jump to the 200 SMA. So for me, the trade really is, a possible trade today is to long this right now, back up. Spike up, resistance, and remember, Bookmap still has liquidity to the downside. But if you can't break this trend line, you have to remember, there's a trend line here. If you can't break this trend line, expect more downside. So it's interesting now. Watch, I'm going to get rid of everything. And you see me work through the trades in my mind. Like, I am figuring out in my head right now what's going on. Things is a little different than me. A lot of guys have their TA prepared. I think because they're scared to do this live because they don't want to, you know what I mean? Because at the beginning, it is pretty scary to do this live. You're worried people are going to judge you if you take too long or he doesn't know what he's doing, But you get better at it. You put yourself to the test, and, you'll get good at anything you put yourself to the test to. But this is a falling wedge here, right? And it, technically has a 68% chance of a breakout, even though it's not the perfect wedge. We still technically have a higher low. I see almost like a symmetrical triangle here. See now? Like this. So price action is now, and that's why I love pattern trading or using patterns, because it tells me when things get, so now look, this is kind of what we're seeing. Down, up, down, like that's tightness. That's going to have to make a decision further down or up. And that's basically a symmetrical triangle. They're 50-50 patterns. They go either way. Now I got the measured move either way. Smart way is to wait for this. And again, I've done this many times. Go to the 1 and the 1, 3, 5 small time frames. If this falls out, it usually will bearish retest. It'll come up, and then the Stokes and the 5 will curve, and you won't get back in the pattern. If the Stokes and the 5 are curving the 5 minute, and you're not back in the pattern, you short what's called the bearish retest to the downside. If this comes up and it breaks out, you can short the bullish retest to the upside. That's what's good about waiting on symmetricals, because they can give you a retest entry that can help you make the move. That's the last thing I want to talk about. So that's why I'd watch Bitcoin. I'd watch Bitcoin in the symmetrical, really, to see what it's going to do here. And to me, that's kind of where I can leave you off with the best insight. Now you have measured moves. You know, if you take the long, a place to take the profit is 26.6. If you take the short, a place to take profit is 25.750, 25.8. So now you know levels to watch. And you'll understand that you only have, 8 hours, maybe even less, because this is going to take 6 to 8 hours to fill out, and then it's going to have to pick a direction. So now you have a parameter of where you could be going, and you don't know exactly the timing, but you have an estimate of time that's better than someone that doesn't have a pattern. That's why I pattern trade. Bookmap suggests we go lower. So with Bookmap in your favor in this, if you get the bearish retest, know that Bookmap's waiting with that liquidity. And where's the liquidity, which is funny? 25.8, the exact area of my target of the symmetrical triangle, 25.8. This happens to me almost every day. My measured move hits the liquidity area. Tell me if that's a coincidence. I don't think so. I don't think there's anything as a coincidence. So that also tells me to be wary of a long, and that a short probably will be in play. Again, then I go with my stochastics. If price action ends up doing this, and the 1 hour is starting to roll over, even better. Okay? Even better. So I can say, hey, I'd like to short tonight. If this 1 hour comes up and we get up there, I'm going to open me up a short and take it down. That way, if out of nowhere you don't take the trade and it pumps up here, fine. It's all right. Who cares? You're not wrong yet, you know? So now that's my plan. My plan is to short Bitcoin later on today if it can't get back above this resistance at 26,250. If it gets back above that, I'm going to leave the trade alone. But my next idea is to open up a short, and I can already tell the short's going to probably be opened up around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, somewhere around daily candle close. It's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to leave it. One last quick thing is you can hit shift. Make sure you're in the plus sign. Hit shift, hold this down, and move it over. And that's going to give you, 10 hours, 8 hours. You can kind of get a bit of an estimate of how many bars it will to fill. But it takes 6 to 8 hours, and the Bitcoin's going to have to make a move. All right? That's why I love pattern trading. I'm able to figure out when, and that's why my group loves it, because then I'm going to give the update later on, back, boom. And then right when if the retest occurs, I will put the retest to the trading group and be like, this is usually your best entry in a short. There's no guarantees. Nothing is guaranteed in trading, but I've been doing it for a long time. Everybody, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I love everyone that's passionate about learning. I will be passionate about teaching. So have a blessed day. Thank you for everything. Thank you for Bookmap. Thank you for everyone that helped me out, Bruce, the whole team. And I'll see you next week at 1 o'clock.